right? Want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shah, Bashim Akakwadash. Want to give double honor to the apostles, GMS, the rule of well that we learned from. And, hey, salutations, blessings to the hopeful elect, to the Akwath that's tuning in, and to the, Israel, to the Israelite foreigners that are scattered across. And this is Shaquaka Rob from GMS Virginia coming again. We're just going to touch on wisdom of Solomon, the 15th chapter, which go into idols and men that create these things, and he's going to pretty much going to tie it into this whole infrastructure that we live in here in America, because we understand Babylon the Great has taken the hold of the all foul spirits and all of the idols of the kingdoms before, and it's all tied into this day times 10. And a lot of these things that people do to this day derives and go back to ancient customs and ancient civilizations, ancient kingdoms which were here before. So again, the Queen of Heaven worship, feminism, the what you call it, the days of the week, weekends, etc. All goes back to idols and philosophies and doctrines from infrastructures before. All right, so wisdom of Solomon 15:1. But thou, O power, art gracious and true, long suffering, and a mercy ordering all things. It's Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah that created all things, and he ruleth. And he's given all kingdoms and all nations time to rule and give them their place. Just like I can't remember where in the book of Second Esdras, he pretty much gave everything a place and a time. So just like a woman that can't stop the time of her birth, so is the men that rule of the world, that's ruling in his day of time. And we understand the so-called white man is ruling and his infrastructure, and this is what he's pushing. He tried to set his whole narrate, basically, so-called Edomite, so-called white supremacy, which is Edomite supremacy. He's trying to stay in power, but the Lord's gonna throw a monkey wrench, because ultimately he's in control. So for if we sin, we are thine, knowing thy power, but we will not sin, knowing that we are counted thine, and that's the elect. For to know thee is perfect righteousness, to know thy power is the root of immortality. Because to know Yahweh Shem Shah, ultimately you will know he's in control of all things. So it's like the scripture always talks about. If people trip off the sun, the moon, the stars, and different aspects of life, how much more you should worship the Creator, which created for all these things. Like the scripture says in Deuteronomy 4:19, marvel not at the sun and the stars and the moon and the ordinance of heavens, because he had driven the other nations to worship them. But Israel, so-called Negro, Latino, Hispanic, Native Americans, we belong to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, and he sent Yahweh Shah to be our Redeemer. For neither did the mischievous invention of men deceive us, because it's like the scripture says, the Lord have kept 7,000 men that has not bowed down to Baal. So the Lord has kept a remnant that will not be deceived. And again, going into I believe is Ephesians the 5th or Colossians the 3rd chapter. I always Salaki, but I think matter of fact I think it's Colossians 3, which goes into as in time past we were seduced into these idols and ways of this world. We thought we were Americans, we thought we were Puerto Ricans, we thought we were Cubans. We thought we was into, whomever, where we were scattered, As when you read into the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it goes into how our people were going to serve idols made of wood, stone, etc. And again, this is talking about ancient. Well, yeah, it's talking about the ancient way because men would take pretty much what is it, powder, clay, and fuse, if I'm not mistaken, and they will again, they will make idols, and they would deck it out, fashion it, secure it, and put it, stand it up, and then come with philosophies and different doctrines behind it, and they would do it for money. But in this infrastructure here, what we're in, this is whole infrastructure, and when you really look at his ideologies and his philosophies, it all goes back into these false idols. So it says, for neither did the mischievous invention of men deceive us, nor an image spotted with diverse colors, the painter's fruitless labor. And when you look at America, America seems very colorful. America has this doctrine that especially the transformer community, get all the colors. They want everybody to be free. They want everybody to be happy and joyous. You know, loving love everything, accept everything. To throw that, they indoctrinate you from now. The times now, they're trying to indoctrinate these kids that sort of fashion at a very young age, and they're trying to shove it down everybody's pretty much everybody's throat. Verse 5. The sight whereof entices fools to lust after it. So again, remember read Romans the first chapter, because it clearly shows that the Lord has allowed a lot of our people, the 2/3, to be enticed, and the Lord has given the 2/3 up into these philosophies. So again, all the ways of this world, which goes back into these idols, Ishtar, Dagon, the list goes on. Baal, trying to say anything, but the brothers get the point. So it says, and so they desire the form of a dead image that hath no breath. And one of things that go along with the infrastructure of this place is trying to be like Esau. Because again, Esau always sets his way, his fashion. It's like this, man. Everybody deep in the back of their minds know that this nigga's a murderer. They know Esau is a scumbag. He's a piece of shit. They know the so-called white man. They really know how he really got this place. But again, through his imagery, his system, the TV, the media, the radio, the noise, the sound, he painted himself to be a hero. When Esau talks, when he conquers, and it's his victory. But if somebody attacks him, it's a massacre. They know how to talk. They know how to flip the words. So they painted that image to be very presentable and loving, and the savior, the hope. So it says, both they that make them, they that desire them, and they that worship them are lovers of evil things, and are worthy to have such things to trust upon. And again, people that's here in America and worship and that's excited and is pleased with the Western way, they look at their works, they're corrupt. For the potter tempering soft earth, fashioning every vessel with much labor for our service, of the same clay he maketh both the vessel that serve for clean uses, and likewise also all such as serve to contrary. So he's hooking it up, he's mixing it up. But what is the use of either sort? The potter himself is the judge. One thing, when you read Exodus the 20th chapter, is very, you understand, the Lord gave us hope and imparted us faith, and that's the beauty of it. The Lord talked greatly about image worship and imagery. I remember me and the brothers in the camp went into that last week about imagery. And if I'm not mistaken, the brother Kratos brought. Yeah, I know Kratos brought it up, but I can't remember what word it was. But he pretty much went into imagery. It's like basically a copycat. And whatever you been put in your head, the images that have been put in your head, you will become like. If you, again, if you push down your throat, if you lost yourself and your weight was beaten out of you, and all you've been around is this nigga who's pushing himself on you, you're gonna start to become like him. Especially if you don't hate this guy or know that he's your enemy. Because again, the worst thing you ever see is a Negro that's called himself an American and that waves that American flag, man. So it says, in employing his labor lewdly, he maketh a vain power of the same clay, even he which a little before was made of earth himself, and within a little while after returneth to the same, out when his life which was lent him shall be demanded. Yeah, so again, a person that took upon himself to, make an idol while on the earth, and that was either that was your work, that's how you created money, or again, that was just your thing. Image worship and creating idols is a transgression. Notwithstanding, his care is not that he shall have much labor, nor that his life is short, but striveth to excel goldsmith and silversmith. So again, he is showing you that he wants to become great. He wants to become that he wants to be known. He was the person that created that idol. And if anybody wanted another idol or an idol like it to it, they will call upon him and endeavor to do like the workers in brass and count it his glory to make counterfeit things. His heart is ashes, his hope is more vile than earth, and his life of less value than clay. And my point is bringing this out is because you see Esau pushes this narrative that this place is going to last forever. And again, all the witching and the witchcraft and the sorcery that Esau does, that's why these people have been seduced, and people can't even see. We're out there on the houses and the byways. We tell our people, everything that this nigga, indulges in and involves himself in, it goes back into some type of idol, some type of vain worship. So it says, for as much as he knew not his maker in him, and aspired unto him an active soul, and breathed in a living spirit. But they counted our life a pastime, and our time here a market for gain. For say they, we must be getting every way, though it be by evil means. For this man that of earthly matter maketh brittle vessels and graven images, knoweth himself to offend above all others. And all the enemies of thy people that hold them in subjection are most foolish and are more miserable than very babes, man. So again, and look at our people now that has partook in the ways of this America. They are fucking miserable, man. Again, when you go on these podcasts, you go on these man, you just walk outside your house, man. And they're putting on this way to them. Our people are one of the biggest fucking characters and one of the best people at acting and trying to cope with pain. And we learned that actually, I think when you go into that, when you go into a slavery, it said that our people took and grew like a mechanism or grew a way to them that they learned how to overcome pain and overcome misery and trauma. But the thing about it, it's there. You can see it on our people. But Jake can't hide it forever. So it says, for they counted all the idols of the heathen to be gods, which neither have the use of eyes to see, nor noses to draw breath, nor ears to hear, nor fingers of hands to handle, and as for their feet, they are slow to go. Yeah, but Esau paints his picture that America's going to stand and last forever. This whole infrastructure. And it's crazy because when have you heard Jake lead his country and want to join another country's military to throw this place down? You're not going to see it because Jake has been seduced. They don't see nothing wrong with this place. Jake, again, you don't really see Jake coming up and bucking up against his place. Jake has become comfortable. So it says, for man made them, and he that borrowed his own spirit fashioned them. But no man can make a power like unto himself. For being mortal, he worketh a dead thing which with wicked hands. For he himself is better than the things which he worshipped, whereas he lived once, but they never. So again, it's just showing you, the comparison of basically telling you you're better off than that idol that you created, in which people will take up that idol to be and set it up high and actually believe it's doing something. Yeah, they worship those beasts also that are most hateful, for being compared together, some are worse than others. Neither are they beautiful so much as to be desired in respect of beasts, but they went without the praise of the Most High and His blessing. And the thing about it, again, I bring this out is because, this is what was going on in ancient times. That, and yes, Northern Kingdom is really heavy into this still to this day. I know my family in Cuba, they have a lot of idols, and you know, you'll see this in if you went against went amongst Northern Kingdom in the islands, you will see this. You'll still see Northern Kingdom, making themselves idols and buying idols, and again, they had to have a creator. So basically, just like the people who created, who sit there and take the time to make these idols, that person who made it was better off than that idol. But the point is, people are seduced by these things, and they are corrupt, and they're wicked as hell. You know, um, ultimately, this infrastructure, America, Babylon the Great, which people are blinded and drunken off of, even other nations. You know, they don't understand all that Esau is doing. Had put all that gumbo of idols into one pot, stirred it up, and made it, put the season and spices on it, and put his wickedness in it, and present it as something fashionable. And that's why people are drunk. That's what the scripture says: they are drunk, but not off a strong drink, but off of witchcraft and sorcery. But that's pretty much it. Those Williams edified. Sad, and it's crazy to say and crazy to know that this happened. This was a common thing in ancient times, but people today don't realize that this is still happening to this day, and that the ways of this how America is set up in the fashion of these idols. But I mean, like I said, like the scripture says, more people that choose death and love to be ignorant. But with that, I'm gonna say shalom.